Here I am again out in the woods with a chainsaw. Yeah, I know it's so out of character for me, but I have too many oak trees here. They're white oak and there are just too many of them too close together, which limits their ability to expand into their full oakness. So we're going to thin these out and create food in the process. No, I'm not going to be eating the trees. That's just not my style. There are other ways to get food from the forest. Those are the ones we're going to do here. We have this clump of 3 right next to my wood pile and splitter. Every time I'm here at my wood pile, I'm thinking, I need to thin these trees out. We need to figure out which ones to take and which ones to leave. This is the biggest one, but this is the straightest one, and it's also in the best spot. This one is also encroaching into this one over here, making it harder for this one to expand into its full oakness. We'll start with this obvious one, then see how things look after we get this one out of the way. I said we'll be making food. We'll be making food for both humans and for wildlife. These are going to be the food for humans. Obviously, we're not going to eat the logs, but these logs can be used to grow shiitake mushrooms, which are very edible and delicious. After inoculating the logs with shiitake spawn, a few months later, mushrooms start popping out of them. The fungus eats up the logs and creates mushrooms. That's for later. Right now we're thinning. Let's get back to thinning. With that one gone, these 2 have more space. So do the ones next to it. Ideally, 1 more of these would be taken out and only 1 left. But as they are now, they do have quite a bit of space. I'll probably leave them for a few more years, see how they develop, then decide which one to take. Because for now, these overcrowded ones over here are a bigger priority. They are even more overcrowded, and white oak does not like being overcrowded. Now the question is which of these trees to take and which to leave. I'm leaning toward leaving this one. It's in just the right spacing from the clump we just cut that one out of. It's one of the ones that's growing the most upright, has a more developed crown than the one next to it. The one on this side is a little bit of a bigger tree, but its location is not as desirable. It's bowed over to one direction, and it's also crowding out the one next to it, which is a good leave tree. So we'll take this one out next. I made a video earlier this year talking more about the shiitake mushroom logs. I'll post a link to that one in the description and probably put it in an end card too, so you can learn more about what's going on here. But we're also trying to create food for wildlife. One thing now they'll be able to enjoy immediately, the deer will come through here and strip all this lichen off. They'll eat every bit of this they can get to. Should I even do the deer liking the lichen thing? Or is that just too cheesy? I'm not sure if I want to say the deer will be liking the lichen because that just might be too much. I'm going to hold off on that one. I don't know if I want to say that in this video or not. Just might be too cheeseball. That's only a quick temporary source of food. What we're really going for is long-term wildlife feed here. With these trees thinned out, they now have space. They can eventually grow into something like these with big full crowns, then into something more like this, which can produce a lot of acorns, which are an important food source for a lot of wildlife. Then eventually something like this, which will produce even more acorns, has a lot of other wildlife values, and they're aesthetically pleasing to look at. This is the same type of tree as we're thinning, and it's about 100 feet away from where we were thinning over there. So this is what can happen on a site like this when the trees just have more space to grow. We'll cut a few more here to get the mushroom logs I need, then we'll call it a day. In that other mushroom video that I'll put a link to, I said the time to cut the mushroom logs is in the late winter, early spring. There's also another good window of opportunity in the fall, starting about the time when a third of the leaves have started turning color. I don't know if this is quite a third, but I think we're close enough. That's all the mushroom logs I need for now, or that is all that the person who I'm cutting them for needs. Now these trees have some space, so they can expand into their oakedness. Eventually these ones will grow together and they'll start crowding each other. Then they'll need to be thinned out again. At that time they'll be even bigger and have more wood in them. But that's years down the road. We'll let all the slash dry out some, then come back and pile and burn it after the deer pick through it and eat all the lichen. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.